which will now have a voice for us in the international cinema cycle. But if we are still copying, and don't find originality in our work, then we don't have a voice. That is what now needs. We already have the manpower, the equipment are there. People are ready to work. Like, for instance, now, part of my way of making movie is to go back to Nigeria, because we have the people who are motivated to make movies, working with my friends who are experts from where I'm coming from in Germany. We go in there, we make the movie in our local form, maybe with our local dialect, with our local style, find a style, to make your movie and make it distinct from what the Europeans could find in their theater. Like I was saying, the Indian film, once you see an Indian film, Once you see a Chinese film, And once you see a Korea, like for instance, now Korea is pushing the boundary with a style of brand of their kind of film. So once you see that kind of film, the Japanese film, it's coming from this region. It's coming from that region, So those are the things. But if not, the industry is vibrant and is striving very well with the help of Netflix that is there also.
Fantastic. This is great. You've literally almost answered what my next question was going to be, the hope for a new movie industry structure. I'm sure you could elaborate a bit more about that and let us know what the importance of filmmaking really is in a society.
You see, a film has about two dimensions that you want to go. One is for entertainment, one is for documenting, and we need to document things. We need to tell our own story. We need to show our own costume, our own architecture. So for us, documenting those things, which now has originality, we need to create originality. If we have to go straight into the epic films, where we show our costume, our architectural design, and we need to do designs. We need to do those things, you understand me? And those are the things that will now give us a very strong background. Because if you look at it in Oscar, they have the language category, meaning that your movie shot in language, but the script has to be dynamic for you to be nominated, or your country to be nominate your film. So we have to now begin to look at scripting, like this, the people will say, show, don't tell. We tell and we don't show. And that is why it's a problem, because that's how we talk. We like to talk, we like to talk instead of trying to show what we do. So basically, that is it. But for the industry right now, for me, what we need to do in that industry is to try as much as we can to collaborate with one another. Not only just to collaborate with one another, to collaborate with people living outside the show. Because like for me now, this is my 20 years living out of Nigeria, and I don't do any other thing than film. I'm working in film companies and film business, So I have a vast knowledge of film that I've done, places that I've been, and things that I have done to make it look different. So you employ people like that will come in, to collaborate with you to make good films. That also, don't forget, I live in Germany, so I'm looked as a German, and if I make a movie that is outstanding, and I have a nomination in the cinema circles, of my film, definitely when they're interviewing me, what am I going to say? I live in Germany, right? I'm from Nigeria, but I live in Germany, or I'm born in Nigeria, or I'm a German. What do you think the Germans are going to do? They are going to embrace me because I am making them proud,
Yes.
So those are the films that we need to make now. We need to make art films, not just commercial films, art films, and put it in the cinema cycles so that we can be heard, we can be seen, you know, as competing, you know, with qualities, with things. We cannot be like the Europeans or the Indians, everything. We only need to find our style, you know, and we have the actors, great actors, we have great sceneries to make those kind of things happen. We only need to collaborate.
Fantastic. You see, you being on this platform is collaboration already. Part of what the New Nigeria and TNN do is to bridge the gap between diaspora and Nigeria. We have great actors in diaspora. We have great directors and producers in Nigeria. In diaspora that are Nigerians.
Yeah.
Now, the aim is to start to bring everybody together. This is the structure you're talking about. This is creating the structure which you've just talked about. We get everybody together, sit down, and start actually scheming to develop the industry, to produce, like you said, a language movie. You know, not a commercial movie, but a language movie which would show our true identity. In this essence, I've been able to have a podcast with a nice young playwright in Nigeria called Joshua Alabi. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's doing wonders in the performing arts area, you know, and he's been in Germany to do plays or shows. You know, they do plays, live broadcasts. I have another movie director producer in Canada, another one in Luxembourg. We have fantastic actors in Nigeria who I'm hoping to get together with your able self in a podcast within the next few weeks, where we can sit down, start to develop this identity you're talking about. People might be doing it already, but it's in silos. The average Nigerian, from my knowledge, hardly wants to share their knowledge because they want to be the best in everything they do. They want to be on top. But it's time to stop being selfish. It's time to come together and create our movie identity. What do you think to this, and how do you think we can succeed in doing just that?
First of all, we have a big problem in Nigeria. If you are going into Nigeria and you want to make a little bit of change, a lot of them don't accept that. You know, they just want to do what they are used to, and it's a big problem when you don't want to change a style, a techniques, a way of life. You know, and you just want to be in that way of life. And in the art industry, it is more like that, you know, more like that. But there's nothing you can do. It's just like a like minds going in, you know, making change. They like it or not, you know, because if I'm going to Nigeria with my money and I want to do something, definitely I want to do it well, you know. I cannot do it like because it's money and it's self-funded, so it's not going to be like shooting an Hollywood film. But there are basic things that I need to do, you know, that will make me stand out. For instance, I need to have a call sheet. I need to make sure that my actors and actresses are have contract papers with them. I need to make sure that when someone says it's going to work, we work in that time frame. Not you say you want to shoot in 4 days and you're shooting for 1 month. It doesn't work like that. Proper budgeting, proper planning, you know, going in and doing what you want to do. So those are the things. And basic things like sound, you know, getting the proper sound. But I know they're doing it now, but also getting the proper sound company, doing those things that you see, treating the actors and actresses like they should be treated, you know, the crew like they should be treated, you know, creating a style. That was why I was unique when I went in, as I call myself 13 Fat Man. I was young and I'm experiencing, I've seen Caravan, I've seen the way the makeup department carried themselves. So it was easy for me to go in because I already worked with them for about 9 months in those departments. So I carry myself in a manner. Every department is treated with that kind of respect of your industry, your department. So those are the changes we need to bring in, you know, and don't take things for let's do it now. No. Oh, we should here plan these things and do it. But without that, not like saying it's not happening. There are people like Mo Abudu, other people that already have a structure, a solid structure. They still try to do those things, but we need to do more. And if we do those things and ready to partner, not see me as an adversary, you know, someone that wants to take your job, someone that wants to behave like I know too much, somebody that I want to, you know, and this is, if we go in, and also for me coming from diaspora, I should also understand that I don't need to go there and try to tell them that I know too much, or hey, I know too much. You know, I need to also comport myself. If I see that it's a problem, then I do it myself. And when you do it yourself, gradually you see that people will like your style. People will like the way you're doing your thing. People will like to copy you, and then they will go back in when they have their own production to do it the same way they see it. So you don't have to go in being arrogant and telling them you know better than them, you can do better than them. I mean, everybody will protect his territory anyway, because they've been there, you've been away, you know. And if you're coming in, you need to respect them. So the most importantly for the both parties is respect, and knowing that people are there before you. You left home, so you need to respect them. And the people at home know that you've seen what they have not seen, you know, living abroad. Working, like somebody like me, I'm not working in any department, any place than in film business, you know. So I have been in international big films that are successful, you know. So I've seen how they structure the thing, how everything is structured to make it work. It's not like they don't have lapses, but it works. And respect one another and another man's department. The guy that is serving you a tea, you know, or preparing your food is as important as the actor. Because without those things in place and respect given to each department, the PAs that are helping you pack your things, you need to respect them. So without that, people like us could bring that knowledge and bring that style and bring that proper respect, planning, everybody. You need to respect everybody. You know, everybody's doing one collective thing for your arts. So with that, Nigeria is a wonderful place to experiment and do great works from there, because we need to sell our movies anyway. We need to sell our culture. We need to sell our people.
And that is the way it should be, and that is the way it's going to be. Every long journey starts with one step. Gradually, we will see this come to fruition. Yeah. You mentioned 13 Fat Man, just very casually. Can you give us a few movies that 13 Fat Man have been involved in, so our audiences can look out for them, where they can find the movies to watch? And I know there was a recent production in the last few months that you did, and if you can just please tell us a bit about it, so that people can look at it and notice the style differences.
You see, when I came in as a director in 2000, my first gig was in 2010. I will tell you, I don't know nothing. You know, I only know what I see and being in front of the cameras and all that. So I went in to make my first movie, Stigma. Luckily for me, I've seen. So I brought in my friends and we all did it from South Africa and in Germany. We all did it together. It was a big success. And then I did another one with Hilda Dokubo. We sold it directly to Mnet Africa. They have the film, they have the right to that film called Asawadan. Then after that, what I did was to shut down for 6 years. I shut down for 6 years to go study because I began to find out that there's something missing in our film. There's something that I need to know. If I want to be a proper filmmaker, I need to know this, not just a filmmaker, a film director. I don't need to stumble into things like I'm doing because I ask myself that question, why will the European films, the American films, all those things are better than our films? So going back into the university, studying from diploma, bachelor to my master's, I discovered that a people without an history is a lost generation. So what happened is that why the American films and all that, they study their films. Then each film has a particular style to make it. Sound, picture, camera style, to make it. Because between you and I, if you shut your eyes and you listen to a film and it's an horror film, you can say this film sounds like an horror film. And when you open your eyes to see, it's an horror film. So those are the things that make me go in. So after that, what I did was to be an author in film directing and in film directing. So in all my things was finding a style, a language. So I did a lot of experimental films that I never show unless somebody says, oh, I want to see what you've done, then I can channel you to it. So now what I'm doing, because I finished my final study, last year, my master's last year, and I took a break. I took a break to now reinvent myself from what I've studied so far, to now have a style and language which I have perfected a little bit of what I really want to do. So now I'm in its second phase, which is rebranding. So if you want to see my film, yeah, I could send you my film. I could give you something to look at, which is quite different, from what I have done in the past.
Absolutely. I agree with that. It's always moving into the future. That's one of the most important aspects of life. We've talked about collaboration between diaspora and Nigeria. We've talked about bridging the gap. We've talked about a new hope for a new movie structure which can be created. Can you just give us a bit of a snippet about people you worked with back in the day, where they are now, what they are doing? We've mentioned names, we've mentioned the Amatas, we've mentioned the Zeb Ejiros. There are a few other names within the movies itself. I think you mentioned the lady who you did one with in South Africa. Dokubo, was it? I can't remember what the name. Yes. So can you just tell us about those people? Like, did you do anything with Ibn Abel February Sima? Did you do anything with Richard Mofe Damijo? Are you still in contact? Let's just analyze the industry, because there used to be a big fraternity within the industry.
On that angle, yeah, between 2010 to 2016, when I never went back home again, I got myself working with a good number of people like Francis Duru, Ejike Asobu, Emeka Ike, Hilda Dokubo, this other girl from Ghana, Jackie Apia, a good number of them. After that, I have not really kept in contact with them. We all belong to groups and everything. you know, and I try as much as I can to keep in contact. But right now, like I said, I've been away in the business for over 6 years, and I'm like reinventing myself, going back again in the next possible time. But online, definitely online, I see that there's a huge growth of people moving their skill, like in Edo, you know, it's Insane. This other girl that just got married now. I remember her name. Mofe Damijoya is still doing great. And Ransin Noah now started directing. That he also won.
Oh, Ramsey Noah.
Yes.
I remember when they were all starting. I remember that name, Francis Duru. He used to come to the house to see you guys, you know.
And
oh, yes.
And this other guy that, what's his name again? We call him GQ then. Chidimokeme, you know.
Okay. Yes. And then there was the Kepi. Is it Kepi Ekpeyongo?
Yes, I worked with him in my last gig with Ilda Dokpo that I directed. He was one of the actors there, Kepi Ekpeyongasi. You know, we're still friends, you know. We still keep in contact, but you know how it is when you live abroad and you have different kind of crowd, different kind of friends.
Absolutely.
You know, I still keep in touch, but I'll keep in touch with them more now that I'm now going back to Nigeria to start practicing and doing different things again, because now Netflix is in Nigeria and we need to take an advantage with what is there to now tell our stories, not just make a film. I know that Netflix is a platform that they are more interested in commercial films, you know, commercial film. But I mean, if you tell a good story, a good art story, Netflix will also take it from you, you know, a very good art story, you know, like a film that I was opportune to help like facilitate, that is a Netflix, what's it called, Amina, you know, owned by Okay Gunjofo, directed by what's his name, Uzu Ojukwu is there. So when I met Okay in 2016, when I was trying to sell and market my film, and he said, "Oh, I want to do this film. How can you?" I said, "Look, if you have this kind of money, we can actually go international with this film." You know, he listened to me. We got the people in to help him facilitate. I was the first AD for the film, and also facilitate the film. But now, what did I do? Because I have the arts in me, I have the creativity in me. So I also help to design the makeup for the film, you know. And with my exposure with that, with the help of also a friend of mine that I trained to work with me on that platform. In the African Movie Award, which is the MNET Movie Award, we're still nominated in terms of makeup, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, we're still nominated, and the film went on to have about 13 nominations, you know. Wow. And those are the things we are saying about collaboration, you understand?
Yes.
Don't need to direct him, but I help him direct his vision and his thing, bringing people that will help him achieve that vision. Those are another other kind of collaboration I make, you know. I don't need to direct your film, but I can bring you people. I don't need to edit your film. I can get you to a proper studio, people who want to see, who love film. It's not about the money now. They want their names and they want to have things that they've done. And today the DOP of Amina is being nominated. Like in my film, the editor, the sound man, they all got nominated. They all won an award for their jobs. You know, in Nigeria, in living in Germany, they don't even have an award. You know, so they have it. They keep it in their thing. They also call me now. The DOP 2 days ago, I just watched online. He's in Nigeria. He didn't tell me, you know. Yeah, he's in Nigeria. He's working. He's working on our future. You know what he has found? He has found his line, his way, because he is living here. For him to get to that position of top DOP, as a DOP, it will take him some time, you know, not also to be nominated. But now he's back in Africa, you know, he has found his own land. Those are the things we that have these things should be doing, you know.
You kind of always answer my questions ahead of the question being asked, because the next thing I was going to ask was how can diaspora be involved in the Nigerian movie industry? But you see, you've already told us about the DOP who is already in Africa doing a bit of work. Is there more impact we can make in terms of funding, in terms of taking an interest? You know, what should the audience know about, because most of our audience are in diaspora, what should they know about linking up with the movie industry and creating a new niche in our movie industry?
Already started. It's been doing, it's up and it's working, you know, the process is working, but it's working very slow, because definitely some of this funding, it's put together by countries, by people, it's not by the taxpayers' money. So there's no way because you're from Nigeria, they can give you the money to go and make your movie in Nigeria. But there's a particular kind of structure you put. If you have a production company, for instance, here in Germany, and you're going to shoot, say, 30% and the crew and the final post-production in the country that is going to give you that funding, they will collaborate with you. But unfortunately, they don't understand our story. They don't understand our theme, most of them. You understand me? So they cannot go, and you cannot market what you don't understand. You know, maybe the way we tell the story or the style we tell the story, they don't understand, you know. So we need to change those kind of style for you to access funding outside. But that does not mean that there are no particular kind of funding that you can, for instance, the African Benali have a particular kind of fund for the African, but also they make it so complex that you cannot just access the fund. You know, there must be some kind of criteria involved, and the only way you can access that is when you collaborate, or I am collaborating here, I'm bringing it from here to there, which will make it a little bit easy, but it's still difficult. So our system need to have that kind of system in place in our country. For instance, I know, you know, I never had the opportunity, but I know that Bank of Africa, Bank of Industry had that kind of fund for actors and for filmmaking, you know, that they were assessing some 5-6 years back, you know, but you know, they don't know the importance of that funding. They don't know about it, and so Bank of Industry stopped the process because they were losing money instead of gaining money. You understand me? They were losing money. So if, for instance, the Bank of Industry could start that kind of process again, you now need to, you can source the, if you know you can get the money, you know, source for the fund, you need to use that fund to collaborate with someone that can bring the technical ability, structure to make it work. You understand me? Mm-hmm. For instance, you write your story, you know, you don't need to keep it because you have fun, you have fun. So why don't you take this fun, sit down with people who know better than you, let them look at this story, let them say, oh no, this story, there's a problem here, there's a problem, let's fix this problem. You understand me? And I'm only going to either get paid or share percentage, share credit with you on credit on the script. Why not? Because they know the script writers living abroad knows that there's a particular style and structures for each genre that you're going to make, and they will follow you through those genres. And for filmmaking, it's the script. Once your script is right, you just go and sleep, you make the money. You understand me? So those are the things that we now lacking back in Africa. Most of the films that we're seeing on TV, on every platform, is an individual funding, and it's not much. You cannot make films. You can make films, don't doubt me. Any kind of film, I'm not saying you cannot, but you cannot make a proper film with individual funding, because not everybody can give you 10 million. Not everybody can give you 5 million. Not everybody can give you 1 million. In fact, to get 1 million is a big deal. So there needs to be funding in place. And the funding is not supposed to be my family, my brother's friend. People who are qualified, in terms of when you look at the story, they have structure, they put the structure, they put the business plan of what they want to do, and you can see it. Sometimes in Germany that I live in, they have a different kind of funding, but they have a particular funding, which is they give it to you to go and make a film. They are not expecting return from it, because the more German films they make, especially in German language, the more people get to speak German, the more people so we should also encourage that, style of business plan. You give people money, not I know they do it in the past with Bank of Industry, where they give the money to some certain people, so much money you cannot even, when you look at the movie, you're going to give them a backhand, to say, man, this is rubbish you did, because they don't think, wow, they just think in that small box with that small money, and just think what they how they can embezzle the fund for their own selfish gains. Now look at OK, for instance. OK is one of the guys that got that kind of funding from Bank of Industry, to make Amina, that is in Netflix now. He listened to me. He put the structure down. We brought the expatriate. We got time to make the film, and we made the film. Today, he's reaping the benefit of making a good film. At least a good film. Even if Netflix takes your film, it's good. It's good. And that is what we back in Africa should be looking at. If you make a quotation to make a film for $10,000, please use that money that you've invested, you've written, to make a film of that 10,000. The movie, if you spend the 10,000 to make a film, for instance, it will show. If you use 200,000, it will show 200. It will look 200. If you show 500, it will show. Any amount of money you put in, it will show. There's no two ways about it. Because if you don't use the proper money to make it, you begin to cut corners, and if you look at the film,
nothing to write home about.
Yes. So if you get the funding and you write in your proposal, I will spend AYZ money to make the film, please use it to make that film, because it will show. And when you do that way, you open the door for the next man to come in. Sometimes it's not about gain anyway. In fact, any person that goes
building,
anything that goes into movie making with the idea that you want to make, you're going to make big money, please, you're in the wrong business. Just know that you're in the wrong business. Film making is an art. And any person who's an artist, we all know, painters and all that. When they paint it, they're not painting it because they feel, they're going to make 10,000 this work. Sometimes they are dead before the work even make that money for them. You understand me? So
yes.
It's an art. So if you begin to see film as an art, that every little project you have is an art, and keep money out of your brain, you will see that people will appreciate your work, And the more they appreciate your work, the more you become an author in your field, and the more later it will open the doors for you. But if you take the funding and you never do what you have said you want to do with the money, you start beating corners and everything, and it comes out like a wishy-washy. Even the man that gives you money, your executive producers, please, could you delete my name? Don't add my name there. You've closed door for millions of people that will have that opportunity. He's going to tell his millionaire's friend, please don't invest there, you lose your money. Yes, of course, he's going to do that. He's going to tell them, don't invest your money there, you're going to lose that. But if you do a movie, he does not see his money back. But he can see the money, and people come to tell him that, oh man, that's a good movie that you made. I love it. For him, that is also a big pride that he will want, and that's where the money comes in. That's where his friends will say, how much did you spend? Can we do that same thing with your client? And gradually you begin to make money. Everybody begins to make money, like now what is happening in Nigeria. Everybody, the sweat we did not getting so much money. After 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, when I left Nigeria, some of them called me and say, you don't know what I earn now in making a movie? They pay me 1 million. They pay me 2 million, And then those set of people, they were paying them 50,000, 20,000, and that's how the industry is growing. And we've been able to achieve that process in terms of collaboration, in terms of quality in music. So that's why now our music all over the world is being played, because those young boys went out there to collaborate with top big stars.
They did.
And today, any club in America, everywhere, even here in Germany, anywhere I am in Amsterdam, I go, they play African music, Afrobeat music. The guys find out a style and follow that style. So that is the same process in filmmaking. We need to find our own style. And then you build on that style, and generation coming building. Before you know, you are in that Oscar award, because you have a style, you have a language, you have a pattern that you make your film. And that film, once they see it, they say it's coming from that region in Africa.
I see the dream, I see the vision. Nothing is going to change it. Pioneers start dreams, even if they don't finish it. Yeah. Generations later, continue and build it to where it should be. There's so much to talk about, so much to say, so much knowledge to pour out to our audience. But it's already 1 hour.
Yeah.
The time doesn't wait. Hopefully there'll be a part 2. I'm also hoping that you will join the discussion next weekend if you are free on Sunday. I'm gathering those, like I said, we're gathering together to continue exploring, to develop this style. And as people watch what we're doing, hopefully they can use the experience of what they've learned in our podcast to start developing as well, sharing and collaborating. Because at the end of the day, there's no secret sauce to it apart from collaboration. It's not magic. It's what you put in collaboration is what you get out in collaboration. So, my dear audience, it's been an interesting 1 hour. We could keep going for 2-3 hours, but you know how it is. We stick to our structure. We stick to our time. It's 1 hour of brilliant talking. I was enthralled. The time went so quickly. I encourage you to watch it as well. And whatever knowledge you gather from here, please share. Share to our people. There is knowledge in sharing. Let's not keep things to ourselves. Dagogo.
Thank you.
That name is fantastic. Before we go, please, what's the origins of that name and what's the meaning?
Okay, the meaning is Dagogo. It's like a prince. I look more like my father. We like